Hi everyone, this is part 3 of my JavaScript fundamental series. Um, Today, in this final part, I'll be completing the entire fundamentals of JavaScript. You can just have a look at the roadmap, and I am right here. So I'm at 2.16 this point, and I have 3 remaining in total. Then we start with code quality. Let's go. So, in JavaScript, a function is not a natural language structure, but a special kind of variable syntax. As we used before, is called a function declaration. This is alrighty. This is alright. There is another syntax for creating a function that is called a function expression. It allows us to create a new function in the middle of any expression. So, let's say hi. Oh, this is kind of big. Uh, this reminds me of anonymous functions in Java, if you know about it. Anyways, so it allows us to create a new function in the middle of any expression. So let's suppose we have this expression, let's say hi. And say hi was supposed to be a variable, right? But this variable is actually a function. And then we have the entire function inside it. So here we can see that a variable say hi getting a value, the new function created as function alert say hello as the function creation happens in the context of the assignment expression. This is a function expression. There is no name after the function keyword. Uh, Omitting a name is allowed for function expressions. So here we immediately assign it to the variable. So the meaning of these code samples is the same. Create a function and put it into the variable say hi. This thing. Now function is a value, so let's reiterate, no matter how the function is created, a function is a value. Both examples above store a function in the say hi variable. We can even print out that value using alert. So function say hi, alert hello. Please note that the last line does not run the function because there are no parentheses. Say hi, that's right. I noticed that. Like this was supposed to be say hi and then these two brackets, but they aren't here, right? So this function won't really run. Um, what does it do? It shows the function code instead. As you can see, it shows the entire function code. There are programming languages where any mention of a function name causes its execution, but JavaScript is not like that. In JavaScript, a function is a value, so we can deal with it as a value. The code above shows its string representation, which is the source code. Uh, Surely a function is a special value in the sense that we can call it like say hi, but it's a value, right? So we can work with it like with other kinds of values. Is that so? Suppose I have a say hi function. Let func say hi. I can either do func when the copy it works, says hello again, it works. So that means that means let me just check quickly. Same as they're similar but not exactly the same. Okay. In the first version, we have function declaration, which is obvious, so they both print hello. That's okay. Say hi is created as a function declaration. Func say hi copies the reference to the function. Both variables point to the same function object. You can imagine say hi points to a function, function points to a function. Function expression is the version 2. function object created, assigned directly to a variable, say hi. Okay, hoisting. I don't know what that word means. Raise by means of ropes and pulleys. Okay. Function declaration works because declarations are hoisted. So you're saying I can call back a function before declaring a function? Function expression, on the other hand, fails because say hi doesn't get its value before that line executes. That's important. Oh, wait. Um, Let me just clear up my doubts. 1 second. This will work, but this won't work. I'm pretty sure the same info would be given over here as well. We can copy a function to another variable. So using this, we can do that, and that's completely fine. I've read about it already. Here is what happens above in detail. I think we just read that here. Uh, we could also have a used function. I've used a function expression to declare say hi in the first line. So this is, let's say hi. This is the function. Let hello. There, over here. Function expressions have a semicolon at the end. That's here as well, but it's not here if we keep that in mind. At the end with function declarations do now. I think it's because this is a variable, so you're kind of ending a variable, right? So if it was something like, let's say hi is equal to 6, you would put a semicolon at the end of 6. I think that's what it's gonna say. So I'm gonna move further. We have some callback functions. Let's look at more examples of passing functions as values. So we read a function ask question yes no with 3 parameters: question, text of the question, yes, function to run if the answer is yes, no, function to run if the answer is no. Okay. Function ask question yes no. If confirm question yes, else no. What? Wait, what? The function should ask the question, and depending on the user's question, answer call yes or no. I should have another. Hold up. Do you agree? You agreed. Ask, do you agree? Show okay. Show cancel. So do you agree? Send us a question. Get show okay. So essentially we just have a function, right? And if confirm question, that means if I pick OK in the alert box, I will trigger the um, the yes function. Hold up. Oh, okay. And the yes function is basically show OK. Oh, it makes sense now. Okay, got it. So we have a function ask. It takes three parameters: question, yes, and no. Right now, if I click OK in the question tab, which comes up in the alert section over here, if I click on OK, my yes function will run. Okay, and I have passed show OK as my yes function. And show OK is you agreed, so it will print you agreed. In case I had pressed on cancel, then show cancel, because show cancel is being passed into as a parameter. So show cancel will print you cancelled the execution, so cancel. That's it. In practice, such functions are quite useful. They do seem like useful. The main difference between a real-life ask and the example above is that real-life functions use more complex ways to interact with the user than a simple confirm. In the browser, such functions usually draw a nice-looking question window, but that's another story. The arguments show OK and show cancel of ask are called callback functions or just callbacks. Okay, now we can use function expression to write an equivalent shorter function. How would we do that? Wait, we didn't use function expression though. We didn't equate it with any other. So this is another way of writing a function expression. Hold up. Oh shit, I forgot the. What am I doing? Yo. This is an anonymous. See, I was talking to you about it earlier. And this is an anonymous function expression being created right where it's needed and passed as an argument. This is the long way, very obviously. Let yes func is equal to function alert you agreed. let no func is equal to function, or you cancel the execution, and then it is sent in yes func and no func. That's it. It does make sense now. It makes a lot of sense now. So I think you have boiled down the entire function into this little piece right here. And that's important. That's important to know. All right. So here functions are declared right inside the ask call. They have no name and so are called anonymous. Such functions are not accessible outside of ask because they are not assigned to variables, but that's just what you want here. A function is a value representing an action, that's fine. Function expression versus function declaration. So I think I'm aware already how they run differently. And I think, yeah, exactly. A function declaration can be called earlier than it is defined. And we actually saw that. But this wouldn't work. We know that already. In strict mode, when a function declaration is within a code block, it's visible everywhere inside that block, but not outside of it. Wait, what? In strict mode, when a function declaration is within a code block, like so, okay, it's within a code block, within a code block. Okay, fine. It's visible everywhere inside that block, but not. I know that already. What? Come on. That's because a function declaration is only visible inside the code block in which it resides. Obviously. But, sorry, what can we do to make welcome visible outside of if? To make welcome visible outside of if? Well, maybe you could, you know, write a. The right approach would be to use a function expression exactly and assign welcome to the variable that is declared outside of if and has the proper visibility. So I can just do let func is equal to welcome. No, let func is equal to welcome. I mean function, and then for the brackets, hold up. We define welcome, and then we define welcome equals function. So we have declared the variable which is supposed to be connected to it. So as I was saying, let func is equal to function and the entire thing inside of it. But the only difference between what I was saying and what's the actual solution is keeping the let welcome outside of if, right? So you have else over here, you have the welcome equals function once again, all the preadings. So this is polymorphism right here, by the way. Using the same thing twice, but having different internal workings. That's called polymorphism. Anyways, so at the end we call welcome. And when we do call welcome, we are asked our age. But hold up a moment. Welcome does not use age. Well, not directly, but indirectly, the output depends on the age. And hence, in order to receive the age, we have to go over here first. And that's why I'm asked my age first. Now, if age is below 18, I'll get a hello. Else, if my age was above 18, I would get greetings. Makes sense. Or we could simplify it even further using a question mark operator. Let age is equal to prompt, what if your age 18, let welcome equals So, mm, age of less than 18 question mark. If less than 18, you could do hello, uh, and then the colon, and then the greetings. That should have worked, but we're trying to do it function-wise. So function of alert and hello. Hello is the code block that's supposed to be inside of the function. Okay. So if this is true, you make this thing happen. If this is false, you make this thing happen. When to choose function declaration versus function expression, that would be a nice insight. As a rule of thumb, when we need to declare a function, the first thing to consider is function declaration syntax. Gives more freedom in how to organize our code because we can call such functions before they are declared. That's also better for readability, as it's easier to look up function. But if function declaration doesn't work for us, yeah, fine. So this is it about this particular lesson. Let's move on to the next one. Arrow functions, the basics. Now, as a Java programmer, not exactly a programmer, but I have some experience in Java. We used to have Lambda functions. They also used arrows. In C or C++, we have pointers that use arrows. So I am kind of curious about where JS uses arrows. So let's see. There is another very simple and concise syntax for making functions. That's often better than function expressions. It's called arrow functions because it looks like this. So the syntax would be, we have a function, we have the arguments which it needs, and then we have the expression. Let's see. This creates a function that accepts arguments, we know, then evaluates the expression on the right side with their use and returns its result. In other words, it's the shorter version of let func equals function of this and then return. That's fine. Let's take a concrete example. So you have a let sum, you have a function. Wait, we didn't write. Oh, okay. We don't have to write function anymore outside of it. We can just say that let sum name equals the arguments a comma b. What do the arguments do? Well, after making an arrow, they do a plus b. And then just have to do alert sum to pass in 1 and 2, and that's it. JS is cool, man. I was underestimating it for no reason. JS is pretty cool. So as you can see, a comma b, it gives us a plus b, means a function that accepts two arguments named a and b, and upon the execution, it evaluates the expression a plus b and returns the result. If we have only one argument, then parentheses around parameters can be omitted. Well, I don't do that. I prefer keeping my parentheses. It's talking about this thing right here. It's saying that if you have only one parameter that needs to be passed, you don't have to do, bracket and bracket. You can just put n like this and move on with life. But I prefer not doing that. I prefer having a uniform way to remember the syntaxes of things. Now, if there are no arguments, parentheses are empty, but they must be present. Okay, so let's say hi is this. Say hi. Even though say hi doesn't really need any arguments, you still have to, and that's why I say, right, do not remove parentheses. Even if your code looks smaller, you feel better, don't do it. Okay, just don't. Because you might catch the habit of writing your codes just like this. Arrow functions can be used in the same way as function expressions. For instance, you can have a look at this. Let age equals prompt. What's your age? 18 default value. Let welcome equals age less than 18. If age is less than 18, then you print hello. And because the function earlier did not require any parameters that had to be passed, we can just do these brackets, alert hello, a colon, these brackets again, like greetings, and then semicolon. So welcome. You run welcome. You're asked the age first. So pretty nice example right here. And multi-line arrow functions that we've seen so far were very simple. They took arguments from the left of this, evaluated, and returned the right side expression with them. So you know what, this might just be the lambda function of Java. And this was very intuitive, if you think about it. More to come. Good. Next lesson. We have some JavaScript specials. It's a brief recap of all the fundamentals we've read so far. This is also the last chapter of the fundamental section. So let's get it over with. Code structure, you know. Wait, this must be very long then. Sheesh. No, it's short. Pretty short. Remember the functions. This is the normal function declaration. This is the function expression. Arrow functions. Wait, so when I'm using an arrow function, I don't put semicolon over here. That's interesting. There is no semicolon here. Hold up, I need to go back. Arrow function basics. They do use a semicolon even if I have a multi-line comment. Yeah, see, semicolon. So this must be a mistake here. Arrow function. Here I was supposed to have a semicolon. Anyways, guys, that's it for the fundamentals of JavaScript. In the next video, I will be beginning with code quality. I don't know what it's about, but it has something to do with the browser, I guess. But we have covered all the fundamentals of JavaScript. Took me quite a while, but I'm happy to get it over with. The date is still 10th June. Let's see you in the next video. Goodbye.